So this video is about several things. It's about the coronavirus, which is now dominating the news worldwide. It's about how such things as pandemics and super contagious viral outbreaks have been portrayed in the media, in Hollywood films, in television programs, in books, and even in children's video games over the past 25 years. And this video is also about zombies and how these three things all interconnect and how they're extremely relevant to what's going on right now, what we're seeing in the media right now. Now, this is the poster for the film Contagion, which was released in 2011. And now, if you see the trailer for this film, or you've actually seen the film itself, you will know that it is astoundingly similar to what's going on with the coronavirus outbreak. Astoundingly similar. So we're going to look at the plot in a minute, but I just want you to remember these 4 words. Nothing spreads like fear. Because really this is what this whole issue is about. It's about fear spreading throughout the world via the media and reaching everybody. And I've been noticing for many years the degree of fear, the amount of fear being propagated by the media has been increasing steadily. But the last couple of years I've really seen it reach a crescendo, and it's now now young people are being targeted more than ever before with ideas of pessimism, misery, dystopia, war, horror. So I'm going to explain what's going on, especially with reference to the coronavirus and the whole idea of some super contagious viral outbreak. So this is the plot for this film. When Beth Emhoff returns to Minnesota from a Hong Kong business trip, she attributes the malaise she feels to jet lag. However, 2 days later, Beth is dead, and doctors tell her shocked husband they have no idea what killed her. Soon many others start to exhibit the same symptoms, and a global pandemic explodes. Doctors try to contain the lethal microbe, but society begins to collapse as a blogger fans the flames of paranoia. So this is a lady who returns from a Hong Kong business trip. Of course, Hong Kong is not too far from China. But if you've seen the film, or if you watch the trailer, you'll see that it's very, very closely related to how the media is portraying the coronavirus. Incredibly similar. And we're going to look at other things now which are putting out, or have been putting out, a similar message into the mainstream. So just a few films to begin with. This is the second poster for the film Contagion. And just notice the biohazard symbol up there in the top right-hand corner, the red tape with the biohazard symbol. This is very important because this image is used in films like this, in films where there's a viral outbreak. It's used as a symbol of fear. So when you see this symbol in the films, it means that there is some super contagious disease, or that people aren't free to move around. Cities are in lockdown, cities go into quarantine. So this symbol is used a lot in films on the subject of virulent outbreaks to signify fear. So it's really a fear-inspiring image in films such as this one. So coronavirus could spread to London, Sydney, New York, and many other world cities, scientists warn. And as you can see, the poster for Contagion also shows all these different cities that the virus spreads to. And again, just in the information being put out in newspapers, again you can see the biohazard symbol next to the word symptoms, and again at the bottom how it spreads and how it can kill. So this biohazard symbol is being connected to the coronavirus, and that's important to understand, that the symbol is being closely connected, so people make this connection. This is another film about a viral outbreak, a mysterious virus which is super contagious and spreads everywhere. And again, you can see on the yellow tape at the bottom, you've got the biohazard symbol again. And I'll just read you the quick synopsis for this film. Chaos ensues after a lethal airborne virus infects the population of a South Korean city less than 20 kilometers from Seoul. So again, South Korea is not too far from China, and this is from 2013. And this is another one. I think this is a South Korean film, Train to Busan. Again, it's about a super virulent outbreak which is highly contagious, and it turns everyone into zombies. And again, you see the biohazard symbol used here for some kind of viral outbreak. So all the films I'm going to show you now, all the images from films are about super contagious viral outbreaks which turn people into zombies. So this image, this biohazard symbol, is very much connected to this idea of a super contagious viral outbreak which turns people into zombies. So there's been so many films over the past 20 years or so. I'm just going to show you a few of them. So here's another one, Carriers. You see the symbol behind the man, which is the biohazard symbol. Again, same plot. Patient Zero, same plot again. You've got the biohazard symbol there in the background, and everyone turns to zombies in this film. Again, another one, Doomsday. You see at the bottom the lady's back is tattooed with the biohazard symbol. Again, a horror film where a super contagious viral outbreak infects people and turns them into zombies. And 28 days later, a cult British film came out in 2002. Again, very powerful and very realistic film about a viral outbreak, which is super contagious. It spreads across the UK and basically kills everyone. Well, it turns them all to zombies. And there's just a handful of people alive who've got to battle the zombie apocalypse. As you can see at the top, it says exposure, infection, epidemic, evacuation, devastation. So as you can see, exposure and infection, those are the first two stages. Maybe the epidemic is the first three stages of the coronavirus. So it's putting in people's minds, or films like this have been putting in people's minds for a very long time, that these are the stages: exposure, infection, epidemic, and then basically worldwide contagion. But it's linked with zombies. This is a zombie apocalypse film, and a pretty horrific one, terrifying one, and they're terrifying for a good reason. This is the sequel, 28 weeks later. Again, you've got the biohazard symbol connecting this viral outbreak to a zombie outbreak. This is Will Smith, I Am Legend. Again, if you look behind him and to the sides of him, you've got the biohazard symbol signifying this viral outbreak which infects the entire global population and turns them, in this film, into vampires, into flesh-eating, bloodthirsty vampires, not too different from zombies. Another one from 1995, Outbreak. Again, super contagious viral outbreak which spreads across the world. And again, entire cities are quarantined and put into lockdown. And again, it's about spreading fear. This film is very much about spreading fear. And the way people react in this film and in all the other films, it's fear-inspiring. It's to spread fear. And there's very, very little positive information in any of these films. It's all about spreading fear and the devastation and the panic that comes from a super contagious viral outbreak. World War Z, again, super contagious viral outbreak turns everyone to zombies, a zombie apocalypse film. Again, the same, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, another zombie apocalypse film. Again, same plotline pretty much. Zombieland, again, super contagious virus turns everyone to zombies, and then the young have got to battle the zombies in brutal ways with chainsaws, shotguns and other weapons. And it gets younger, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, so it's getting kids into the idea of the zombie apocalypse now. And of course you have to understand the zombie apocalypse is connected to this idea of a viral outbreak that nobody knows where it comes from. It's super infectious, and it basically infects everyone and turns them into zombies. So this is aimed at kids, and to a younger audience, Daddy, I'm a Zombie. So just familiarizing children with the idea of zombies and all that they entail. Resident Evil, this follows the video game Resident Evil, which was released in 1995. This again is a zombie apocalypse film which follows the outbreak of a super contagious virus which is released from a biotech company, and it infects everyone and turns them into flesh-eating zombies. And it's a horror film, and it's another cult film, and the video game is a cult video game. It really kind of brought back to life the zombie video game genre, extremely popular and intentionally terrifying and scary. So again, it's about this super contagious viral outbreak, and zombies are the inevitable consequence. This is the Resident Evil legacy, 6 films, 2 video games, again, all with pretty much the same plot. The Strain, this appeared on American TV from 2014 to 2017, directed by the horror film director Guillermo del Toro. Again, it's a super contagious viral outbreak which infects people and turns them into this terrifying creatures that they're vampires essentially. They just want blood. It's pretty gruesome and pretty dark. So the following programs are all on Netflix, and again they are all zombie programs. 10 of them in total, and they're all currently shown on Netflix. The Walking Dead, again, it's about a viral outbreak that turns everyone into zombies. So this is a zombie apocalypse television program, extremely popular at the moment, very gory, and of course zombies pretty much give everyone permission to do disturbing things, use weapons, and it's an excuse for as much gore and violence as possible. Pretty gruesome. Again, Z Nation, a mysterious virus creates a zombie apocalypse, and these people have got to save themselves and save the world. Again, Black Summer, zombie apocalypse. Again, viral outbreak. So this theme is incredibly common, and it's very prevalent on our screens right now, and especially on Netflix. Santa Clarita Diet, this is kind of like a humorous take, but this lady is a zombie and she craves human flesh. Kingdom, again, a zombie apocalypse TV program currently on Netflix. It's a Korean zombie apocalypse program. Dead Set, again, zombie apocalypse TV program on Netflix. Glitch and the Returned, again, is a zombie program. These characters return from the dead and they're not quite sure what's going on. Helix, again, it's about the zombie apocalypse starting in the Arctic. It's about saving the world from the zombies. And Ash versus the Evil Dead, again on Netflix. Again, zombie apocalypse TV program, all on Netflix at the moment. And this is one aimed at the kids, aimed at the teenagers. Daybreak. You say apocalypse like it's a bad thing. So again, zombie apocalypse, and the idea that the apocalypse could be a good thing. Maybe it's good, the opportunity to kill as many zombies as possible. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's good that we can all get our weapons out and start brutally hacking to pieces zombies. It's almost like selling the idea that it would be fun. It would be an adventure. It would be exciting to brutally destroy loads of zombies. And this is a very concerning message because it's not just being promoted in this particular TV program, but it's in many other areas as well, as I will point out. Zombies, Disney. This is a Disney film from last year, I think, or the year before. Again, it's just familiarizing kids with the idea of zombies and everything that zombies entail. So, of course, eating human flesh, eating human brains. Again, these zombies in the program are restrained with wristbands that stop them wanting to eat human brains. But the idea is dealt with, and this is obviously a kids film. And there's Zombies 2, which is the follow-up. This is just some artwork from that. So I'm just trying to show you that zombies are extremely prevalent at the moment in the media, on our screens, and they're connected to this idea of some mysterious viral outbreak. Nobody knows where it came from. It's extremely contagious. It spreads like wildfire, and nobody knows how to stop it, and it turns people into zombies. So it's connecting the idea of a viral outbreak with a zombie apocalypse. This is on Netflix now. We're aiming at younger children, how to survive the zombies. This is called The Last Kids on Earth. Again, familiarizing kids with the zombie apocalypse and all the violence that it necessitates. Because if there's a zombie apocalypse, then you've got to get your weapons out. You've got to be brutal. You've got to be prepared to chop and hack and slash and bash and shoot. It's an excuse. It's putting in kids' minds the idea that this is one time where complete brutal violence is totally acceptable and necessary. So it's like you've got to be brutal and violent in a zombie apocalypse. Again, more artwork from Last Kids on Earth. Again, just scaring the kids. Zombiedom, also on Netflix. Zombie apocalypse program. Again, you see the zombies after the little girl there. Pretty dark. This is aimed at children. Again, just familiarizing them with the theme of zombies and everything that zombies entail. Eating flesh, coming out at night. This is Once Upon a Zombie, changing the traditional book characters that all the girls would like into zombies. Little Mermaid, Belle, Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White. So all these characters which represent purity have now been turned into zombies, and they represent the exact opposite of purity: darkness, evil. Again, more promotional images for Once Upon a Zombie. This is the books for Last Kids on Earth. So I'm just trying to show you that the theme of zombies is very widespread in kids' media. So not just on the TV, also in books. Lots of zombie books are very popular, especially this one, Last Kids on Earth, and also Once Upon a Zombie. Obviously books aimed at young girls, the idea of darkness and evil and everything that zombies entail. Zombie dolls. Plenty of zombie dolls for the girls to be playing with. So again, they're just getting accustomed to playing with zombies, getting accustomed with what zombies mean and what they're related to. Again, here we go, more zombie dolls. Plants vs. Zombies. You can get soft toys related to the popular online video game or the popular app. So again, kids are used to zombies. Kids know what zombies are about. Kids will know that zombies eat brains and they eat human flesh, and they come about through a super contagious viral outbreak usually. Racing zombies, face to the brain wins. Again, I'm just trying to show you how much it's infiltrated kids' media and why. I'm going to get to that in a minute, why it's doing this, why are kids being presented with all these zombie things. This is a Lego zombie, as you can see. This is a contagious outbreak, Lego contagious situation. Obviously he hasn't got the biohazard symbol, he's got the radiation symbol on him, but it's meant to be like a super contagious outbreak, and everyone's turned to zombies and he's trying to run for his life. And Lego have taken it one step further and made this disturbing scene where the man is bleeding to death and his legs have come off and he's surrounded by zombies. So again, it's getting the idea into children's brains of what zombies do, what zombies are all about, and how terrifying they are, and also connecting it to this idea of a viral outbreak turning everyone into zombies. And this is a card game that kids can play called Virus, the contagiously fun card game. I'll just read to you what this is all about. Alarms go off at Trangis Memorial Hospital. Strains of experimental viruses have been released from their storage containers, and only you can stop them. Your mission is to face the pandemic head on. Use any means necessary, ethical or not, to immunize your body while trying to stop your opponents from infecting, destroying, or stealing your organs. So again, it's this idea of a viral outbreak creating a pandemic and turning people into zombies, because if your opponents trying to infect you, destroy or steal your organs, then they must be zombies. So this again, it's just this theme of a viral outbreak creating zombies. And it's a card game for kids, just a fun card game. And this is the second one, Virus 2 Evolution. If you look on her suit there, she's got the biohazard symbol. So again, it's connecting the biohazard symbol with the viral outbreak and zombies. And kids are being presented with a plethora of zombie board games. On Amazon you can find all these. They're all recommended when you type in board games. Zombie Kids, City of Zombies, so it's Zombie Apocalypse. This is all Zombie Apocalypse. Zombie Labyrinth, again, familiarizing kids with zombies and what they entail: blood, gore, brains, pretty disturbing stuff. Selfish, another zombie board game. Zombicide, this one is particularly disturbing because just because of the violence it's connected with, this is a board game for kids obviously, but the violence, the absolute brutal violence that it's showing you is totally normal. When it comes to zombies, this kind of violence is fine. This is a message in all the kids' zombie programs and the kids' games. It's that when you're confronted with zombies, then absolute brutal violence is okay. You can do whatever you want because they're zombies, and so you need to be as brutal as possible. And this is very, very concerning message because it's actually saying that absolute brutal violence is permissible when you're faced with zombies. And you've got to remember that zombies are essentially humans whether they've come back from the dead or whether they've been infected by some viral outbreak. They're humans. So really it's about connecting violence to humans, although they're zombies, so of course you're not really being violent because you're just killing zombies. So it's a very subtle thing, but it's being put in kids' minds. Now this is the most popular video game on the planet, Fortnite. This is the Save the World edition, very popular worldwide, being recommended to kids as young as 4 or 5 years old to play. It's a zombie apocalypse game. So kids are they're training for the zombie apocalypse by playing this game. This game is incredibly popular worldwide, and it's a zombie apocalypse game where, again, you can be as brutal as you want. You've got any weapons you can possibly think of, and you can hack zombies and chop them to pieces. So it's almost like getting kids used to attacking zombies and fighting them. So Escape from the Zombie Apocalypse. This is just artwork from Fortnite. And Minecraft, possibly the second most popular game on the planet, played by young kids. My kids have got friends who play this game, and some of them are like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. And again, it features zombies, as you can see, the zombies looking for the man there. And this particularly disturbing scene, which I'm sorry to show you, is from Minecraft. A zombie has caught a man and is proceeding to eat bits of his body. So again, it's just acclimatizing kids to the brutality, the gore, and what zombies mean. And it's also spreading fear as well, because nobody wants to be caught by a zombie. So the idea that if zombies were real things, it would be absolutely terrifying, and and this would be the consequence if you are caught by a zombie. So now we move on to a more immersive games for older kids, teenagers. Contagion VR, which means virtual reality. Outbreak. So as you can see, it's very much connected to the films I showed you at the beginning, to the film Contagion. It's this idea of a viral outbreak which contaminates people, creating a pandemic, and basically it's a zombie apocalypse. So Contagion VR Outbreak will immerse you in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? So you can actually experience what it's like through virtual reality to be in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. So it's really important to understand what's happening here is that people are getting used to the emotions, the feeling, the reality of being amidst a zombie apocalypse. Not just with the TV programs, because when people watch TV programs, they usually identify with the characters in the TV program. And so this is something which is used in all films and TV programs. They have a kind of a plethora of different characters for everyone to identify with, and it gets you more involved in the drama when you identify with one of the characters. So, but when you take that to another level and you're playing VR, virtual reality games, when you're immersed in a zombie apocalypse, then it's really blurring the line between fantasy and reality. And this is what I'm going to be focusing on now, is the blurring of the line, especially with teenagers playing games such as this one. So that's Contagion. This is World War Z. This is the video game of the film. Again, if you look at the yellow suit there, the person, the zombie inside the suit, is got the biohazard symbol. So it's again connecting the viral outbreak to the zombie apocalypse. And this game is very popular. It's on PS4, Xbox, and it's being played by millions and millions of young people worldwide. Specifically men. I have to say that men play more video games than women, so this is aimed specifically at young men, but probably played by plenty of young women as well. This is some of the artwork from World War Z, and it's pretty brutal. I'm showing you this because I want you to understand the brutality that people are getting used to, and especially teenagers. Teenagers are getting used to this kind of brutality in these zombie games, because the zombie games are all about killing zombies and fighting for your life and slashing as many zombies and chopping them to pieces. And this shows you, this is just a kind of an example of what kids are doing in these games and the kind of scenarios they're being faced with. It's really dark, really brutal, and really gory. But as you saw on the last slide, these are immersive experiences. So kids are really getting immersed in these realities as if it's really happening, and they're slashing and cutting and chopping and bashing and shooting and, really getting into the reality of this bloodshed, which is not good. Trust me, this is not good. This is another one, dying light. Says that as the sun goes down, the zombies come out. Good night and good luck. So again, another zombie apocalypse game for the teenagers to play. Very dark. And this is some artwork from Dying Light. Again, it's a man who's ready to fight the zombies and save the world, or at least save himself. And he's got his knife there, so it just shows you that brutality and violence is part and parcel of the whole zombie apocalypse experience. And this is what kids are playing worldwide. These are the most popular games I've shown. The ones I'm showing you here are the most popular zombie apocalypse games, and they are very, very popular, and they have a cult following, and kids really get into them. This is the plot for the game Dying Light. Dying Light is a first-person action survival game set in a post-apocalyptic open world overrun by flesh-hungry zombies. Rome, a city devastated by a mysterious virus epidemic. There you go, you've got the mention of the virus epidemic, just as we're seeing at the moment with the coronavirus. Scavenge for supplies, craft weapons, and face hordes of the infected. So just so you understand the psychology of being in this game and what's happening, because the psychology is very important. The psychology of having to escape and being trapped, and it's a really important part of the games is the psychology and what's going on in your mind while you're playing. This is Left 4 Dead, another very dark, terrifying looking game, zombie apocalypse game for teenagers. Left 4 Dead is a series of cooperative first-person shooter survival horror video games developed by Valve, set in the days after a pandemic outbreak of a viral strain, transforming people into zombie-like feral creatures. So again, it's after a pandemic outbreak of a viral strain. And these are the games that these are some of the top games that kids are now playing. Just so you know, this is what the developer says about the game. Lots of gore, lots of zombies getting their heads blown up, limbs falling off, grotesque and disturbing scenes throughout the game. So this is what kids are playing. They're really getting immersed in these realities. Gore, heads blowing up, limbs falling off, grotesque and disturbing scenes. So what do you think this is doing to the kids who are staying up late at night, playing these games, and really getting into the reality of the zombie apocalypse? Just another one, State of Decay 2, again a very popular zombie apocalypse game. Dead Rising, again a zombie apocalypse game on the Xbox. So there's plenty for kids to choose from, but they're really popular, these games, the zombie apocalypse games. Resident Evil, the original zombie apocalypse game from 1995. As I said, it's a cult game, and again it revolves around a viral outbreak, which was intentionally developed as a bioweapon, and it turns everyone into zombies. So it's a zombie apocalypse. Again, The Walking Dead, zombie apocalypse game for all the teenagers to enjoy. Call of Duty, extremely popular game. Black Ops, zombies. So again, zombie apocalypse game for the teenagers. So as you can see, there are a lot of zombie games that the teenagers are now playing. There's probably a few hundreds of thousands or millions playing at this very moment around the globe. Now I put this here, I put this marijuana leaf here because, as you know, marijuana is becoming more and more legal. It's becoming legal in many places around the world. And this really messes up with people's perception of reality, especially young people. So just think about these kids are all playing these zombie games, and I'm sure many of them will be smoking marijuana as well. And just understand how this is going to blur the line between reality and fantasy, because these games are so immersive and so realistic, and the storyline is so convincing that they blur the line. They really do blur the line between what is real and what is fantasy. And as you'll see as we get on in this video, that line is becoming more and more blurred in many ways. So I just wanted to point out here that the legalization of marijuana is not necessarily a good thing when people are encouraged to be getting into realities of the zombie apocalypse, and when you've got lots of dark programs on TV and terrifying dystopias, because it creates paranoia. Marijuana is very well known for its ability to cause paranoia. So when you've got lots of dark stuff on the TV and lots of dark video games, and the kids are playing these things and watching these things, and they're smoking marijuana, this is really not a good thing for these children's brains. Okay, another super popular zombie apocalypse game, The Last of Us. Over 200 Game of the Year awards. As you can see, it's extremely popular, this game. And as you can see on the right hand side, PSU, PlayStation Universe, Game of the Decade, 2010, 2019. So it's been played by millions of people. Again, it's the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, some kind of super contagious viral outbreak. So this is what kids are playing. You've seen kids are really playing a lot of zombie games, and there's lots to choose from, and they're extremely realistic, and the storyline is very convincing, and they're very immersive, especially with the popularity now of virtual reality. So if you can imagine being in the virtual reality of zombie apocalypse, many kids are experiencing this worldwide. Now, this is very, very interesting what's happening here. So I'm seeing now in the media this kind of merging fantasy and reality with articles like this. So this is about the game I just showed you, The Last of Us. How The Last of Us's outbreak would really affect society. So it's saying, well, if it was real, if it actually happened, if this zombie outbreak happened, how would it affect society? So it's basically putting the seed in your mind, or in people's minds who read this, to consider what would actually happen if it really happened. If we woke up tomorrow to find ourselves in the midst of a Last of Us style outbreak, it turns out our chances of survival would be virtually non-existent. So this is something I'm going to get into now. Bringing this fantasy of the zombie outbreak more into reality in people's minds. Benjamin Thompson of the Microbiology Society put together a great video in which he hosts a discussion between a panel of experts. In it, they debate how The Last of Us's deadly infection would go down in reality, as well as how the UK government would respond and how quickly a cure or vaccine could be found. So again, it's creating this hypothetical scenario in your head of what if it was real. So it's kind of like you almost imagine, you rehearse in your brain, what would happen if this actually happened? What would I do? How would I feel? What would the government do? So again, it's bringing fantasy into the realm of reality in the minds of the people who read this stuff. And this is the last part of the article. So the cheery takeaway from this article is, no matter how depressing you think The Last of Us is, it would be about 50 times worse in reality. So that's a very, very negative and dark message, and the idea that it would be absolutely terrifying. So it's about bringing fear into kids' minds, and especially fear of this most devastating zombie apocalypse, which of course is fantasy, but now children are being encouraged to consider it as a possible reality. So now, on the same theme, these are newspaper articles. Believe it or not, these are all newspaper articles in big publications, in British newspapers. I'll go through them with you. How to survive a zombie apocalypse according to the experts. Grab yourself a metal pipe and head for the canned goods aisle. A professor has put together an expert survival plan for the zombie apocalypse. Great, because we need one, don't we? Because the zombie apocalypse might actually happen, so we need a survival plan. Of course we don't, because it's fantasy. However, as I've just shown you, people are being encouraged, especially young people are being encouraged to bring it into the realm of possibility. And this is very, very concerning, and there's much more to show you, believe me. 1 in 4 Brits has a plan in place to survive the zombie apocalypse. It has emerged. Well, I'm not sure if I believe that, but again, it's merging the fantasy and reality. So these are all articles, how to survive a zombie apocalypse. How to survive a zombie apocalypse. Knowing how to survive a zombie apocalypse is no laughing matter. These facts will give you everything you need to stay alive. So again, it's a serious article proposing that a zombie apocalypse is possible. Next one, 10 practical tips for surviving the zombie apocalypse. When the zombie apocalypse strikes, so when it strikes, not if, when it strikes, will you be ready? Again, think of the language and how it shapes people's minds and how it leads their minds into considering certain scenarios. When the zombie apocalypse strikes, will you be ready? How can you prepare now to survive the undead onslaught? We got the inside scoop. So really, can you see what's happening here? It's putting the idea, it's proposing that it could happen or when it happens. How to Survive a Real Walking Dead Zombie Apocalypse from the Huffington Post. The zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead makes it one of the most intense and gripping shows on television, but it might surprise you to learn a real zombie plague could be closer than you think. Well, you and I know that the zombie apocalypse is a fictional fantasy, but these articles are persuading young minds and people who've been playing these video games and watching all the zombie programs and the zombie films. It really is bringing it from the realm of imagination into the realm of actual possibility, and this is extremely dangerous, as you'll see. Again, the last one is National Geographic Kids. This is a kids article, as you'll see in a minute. 7 steps to surviving an apocalypse, according to science. So if it's according to science, it must be bona fide. It must be real. It must have some substance because it's according to science. Zombie apocalypse survival. Check out these tips from a top scientist, again using science to justify the possible reality. Check out these top tips from a scientist on how to keep yourself alive should you find yourself at the end of the world. More. This is the Metro. The top one is Metro, which is London's free newspaper. Tips on Surviving Zombie Apocalypse by Cornell University researchers. So this is a magazine article from the Institute of Physics, where Cornell University researchers reveal practical tips on how to survive a zombie apocalypse. So it's not saying this is a joke, this is just a bit of fun. It's saying this is a possibility. And again, 5 tips from scientists, of course, it has to be from scientists, on how to survive a zombie apocalypse. Have you got a plan for what you'd do if a zombie outbreak led to the total collapse of civilization? Bad news, you're almost certainly doing it wrong. The next one is from Wired. How to survive the zombie apocalypse using science. So science is going to help you because science knows everything, and science means that it must be a possibility. Science only deals with what's factual or what's real. So if science is suggesting the zombie apocalypse could happen, then it probably will, according to these people. Believe it or not, the guide to surviving the zombie apocalypse is actually derived from real neuroscience. Okay, so it must be what's the word? Believable. 1 in 4 British people have a plan to survive the zombie apocalypse. So again, this is the Metro article. Here's 7 tips on how to survive a zombie apocalypse by scientists. So Metro is the most popular newspaper in London. It's free, and this article appeared in it. Actually 7 tips to survive the zombie apocalypse. And this, I think this was from the Daily Mirror. This scientist, Lewis Dartnell, has created escape routes for residents of London and Manchester should a zombie apocalypse occur. So he's literally drawn a very detailed map and giving you directions and why it's good to go to the sea. And this whole article, you would think it's a joke, but it's actually written very seriously about what you would need to do if the zombie apocalypse happened. Again, this is the second page of the article, escape route for Manchester. There's one for London, one for Manchester, I think the 2 biggest cities in London. It's talking about starting a new community and what the practical tips, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And again, it's really taking it seriously. How to survive a real Walking Dead zombie apocalypse. This is in the Huffington Post. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. So remember those words. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. So it's saying not if a zombie apocalypse would occur, but when it occurs. So these are powerful words when you're talking about something like a zombie apocalypse, possibly the worst, most terrifying thing that could possibly happen on the planet. And it's saying it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. So this is all over the media. This has been appearing in so many different areas in the news media. The zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead makes it one of the most intense and gripping shows on TV, but it might surprise you to learn a real zombie plague could be closer than you think. Why are they trying to persuade everybody that a zombie apocalypse might actually happen? We will discover, we will come to this. And again, this is from The Independent. This is a bona fide newspaper. This is for adults. nearly 25% of British people have a plan to survive a zombie apocalypse, the survey says. So again, it's bringing this to public attention, that maybe if a quarter of the British public have a plan to survive the zombie apocalypse, then maybe you should have one too, because a quarter of the British population can't be crazy, so maybe there's some justification for having a plan to survive the zombie apocalypse. And as you've seen from the previous articles, it's bringing this idea very much into the realm of possibility. And this is according to a professor of astrobiology, so it's according to science, it's according to a scientist, that you might need a zombie apocalypse. And so if those articles are not enough, there's books that will help you survive the zombie apocalypse. So 11 books at the top. 6 books, this is Barnes & Noble, the second one. Barnes & Noble are telling you the 6 books you need to survive the zombie apocalypse, as if it's going to happen. And the last one, bookmans.com, 5 books you'll need to survive the zombie apocalypse. So again, now the books are persuading people that a zombie apocalypse is not only coming, but it's inevitable. So these are some of the books. The Zombie Guide to Survival, extremely popular book, I think in the New York Times bestseller list. Complete Protection from the Living Dead. And you think these are all tongue-in-cheek, but actually they're written as if the zombie apocalypse is going to happen and you need to prepare. This is how they're written. They're written in a very practical and serious way, that you need to know these things. So Only Dead on the Inside, rather a disturbing title. A Parent's Guide to Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse. How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse, another book. Another one, The Zombie Apocalypse Survival Guide for Teenagers. 27 Principles of Wisdom when you're running for your life. How to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse, another one. There's no shortage of these books. Can You Survive the Zombie Apocalypse? By Max Brailer. Max Brailer is the one who wrote the books Last Kids on Earth, which got turned into the Netflix cartoon series for kids. So Max Brailer. At the top it says, creepy, chilling, and lots of nasty fun. Max Brailer gives you the pick-your-own-adventure genre. Max Brailer gives the pick-your-own-adventure genre a devious and very adult twist. So it's terrifying, basically. The idea of the zombie apocalypse is, of course, a very terrifying scenario, and it's making it more real. When you read these books, it's telling you that you need to be prepared. These books are saying that you need to be prepared. This is what you'll need to do. This is how you'll need to think. It's really changing the psychology of the people who read it to think that this is a possibility, or not even a possibility, a likelihood. Another one, The Zombie's Survival Guide. Zombie Apocalypse, a survival guide. Zombie Apocalypse, How to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse. The Zombie Rulebook, a Zombie Apocalypse Survival Guide. Again, you can see you've got the biohazard symbol there, this powerful symbol which is not only connected to the super contagious viral pandemic, but it's connected to zombies. This sign is very much connected to a zombie outbreak, so it has this powerful meaning. So it's a very fear-inspiring logo, and it's been developed to be that way specifically. And one more, the Zombie Survival Guide, 100 Tips and Tricks. So as you can see, the books, there's no shortage of these books for people to find and to read, telling them that the zombie apocalypse is something they need to be prepared for. And they're written in the way, as I said, that they are to be believed. It's a very believable thing, a very believable possibility. And of course, if you consider the books and you put that on top of all the zombie films and all the zombie TV programs, and then you've got the zombie apocalypse video games, which are very realistic and very immersive, then a world is created in the minds of all the people who are giving their attention to this kind of stuff. They're preparing themselves, especially with the video games. It's almost like they're preparing themselves for the zombie apocalypse, and they're learning the emotions that would come up, because the video games, they're very powerful, and they give you the emotions of how you would feel if you were being attacked by zombies. So it's almost like zombie apocalypse training. It's very, very powerful and deeply psychologically influential movement regarding the zombie apocalypse.